Let's go, New York! John Cash. Yo, listening to John Cash.
Welcome to an all-new edition of the John Cash Show podcast. Yes, it's the Hold Your Crown Black Women Worldwide edition of the John Cash Show podcast. Before we get started, the views and opinions expressed by myself do not reflect those of the John Cash Show podcast sponsors and or affiliates. Listeners and viewers' discretion is highly, highly advised. And also, you can hear the John Cash Show podcast on demand on your favorite streaming platforms, including but not limited to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Stitcher, Deezer, Odyssey, Pandora, and many, many more platforms except for Tidal. Now, before we we get started with the shenanigans, let's kick it off with the engineer for the next few episodes. Everybody say hello and welcome back to the John Cash Show universe, the White Wesley Pipes. Yeah. How you been? It's been a while.
It's been a while. I'm good.
How
How
was-
about you?
How was your week?
Eh, quiet.
Quiet?
Yeah.
This week?
Yeah.
Quiet?
Pretty quiet.
I don't know. You sure about that?
Plug in my ears, maybe.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why it's quiet.
Yeah.
Okay. My week was far from quiet, but we'll get into that a little bit later. You can find me on social media, on IG at The John Cash Show, on TikTok at The John Cash Show Podcast, on Facebook, John Cash, and on X at _John Cash. For everybody listening, feel free to chat with me about any of the topics. Sorry, ask for advice, or you could even send an email for feedback at thejohncashshow@gmail.com. Just a little disclaimer. The past few days, I've been, I don't know what the hell, I guess it's the change of the weather. One day it's 80 degrees, the next day it's 40. I don't have a cold, but definitely my voice starts rattling after like maybe like 3 or 4 minutes of talking. So you'll probably hear me clear my throat a lot and not in the Kim Kardashian way. Uh, Here we go. Before we get into the show, we here at the John Cash Show podcast would like to extend our condolences to the loved ones of iconic actor Tony Todd. He was best known for his role as the original Candyman. He passed away this past week at the age of 69 due to natural causes based off of preliminary reports. And also, condolences go out to the loved ones of legendary music and television show producer Quincy Jones, who passed away at the age of 91. He was responsible for some of the biggest songs in history, including, but not limited to, Thriller, Wanna Be Starting Something, what else?
Bad.
Bad,
Off the wall.
Off the Wall, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Dirty Diana, uh, It's My Party, The Way You Make Me Feel. It was a lot. It was a lot. And if I'm not mistaken, he was also responsible for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right?
I know he appeared on one episode. I remember that episode.
Yeah,
Could be a little.
look, back in the days, like a lot of people was responsible for a lot. You didn't hear about it until after they died. So, like, so definitely our condolences go out to those respective families. May they rest in peace. Now, let's talk about it, people. This past Tuesday, America once again showed its ass. For the second time, Donald Trump has been elected the president of the United States of America, and what could be considered disappointing. Uh, Truth be told, deep down, a lot of people knew it would be Trump winning, but what was shocking for me, at least, was the fact that it was so decisively. Trump had at last check 295 electoral votes to Kamala Harris's 226 electoral votes. And as of Friday, November the 8th, Trump had 73 million votes, over 73 million votes, and Kamala Harris had over 69 million votes. However, Trump swept all of the quote unquote swing states. Um, Truth be told, it was a gut punch, to be honest. I went to sleep on election night because very rarely over the past 25 years, you could say that the presidential election was called early, right? Let alone on the same night. So I think I speak for most millennials when I say I'm not comfortable on election night going to sleep because back in 2000, Al Gore was the president when we went to sleep, and then when we woke up, George Bush was
Mm.
president when we. And it was like that for like what 5 to 6 weeks.
I don't remember 2000.
It was it was definitely a dragged out situation. It was like, okay, I'm not going to sleep. I don't like this feeling ever again. So the only two elections I would say that weren't drawn out were the two Obama elections
Mm.
back in 2008 and 2012. I know if I remember correctly, and I know y'all will definitely uh, correct me if I'm wrong. uh, Obama had over 320 electoral votes, both elections, I
Mm.
believe. I know he was. You could look that up. I know he was very popular with the Hope logo and the Yes We Can slogan.
Mm.
I know he's very popular with that. So that was the only two elections, right? As you're checking that. But as I said, I went and took my ass in the house election night. I did the early voting. I voted the Saturday before election day, and I went to sleep. So I woke up around, I want to say at 12:40 a.m. Prepared to stay up all night and watch this race play out. And I checked my social media when I woke up, and it was a lot of disappointment on my timeline. A lot of and I said, "Shit, I don't even want to check. I don't even want to check." Uh, so I did check CNN.com, and I saw that Trump was ahead by quite a bit, and they were just waiting on Pennsylvania at the time. And I want to say maybe an hour or two later that they eventually called Pennsylvania. They projected Pennsylvania and the race to Donald Trump. So, Walter, Wesley Pipes,
What's
what say you? How did you feel after the election? How did you feel after the results?
I don't know. I never really got too political,
Oh, okay.
so
Josh would have been in here having a whole. Josh Fauci would have had a whole pie chart.
to be continued with Josh.
I'd be like, okay, let me just step out. You can take over for the rest of the segment.
I could call him in.
So, um, what do you think is going to happen now that it's a Senate a majority, a House majority, and the Supreme Court
Mhm.
majority, and Trump in the White House as of January the 20th?
I don't think I don't know. I don't think my life would change too much.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
I mean that's fair.
Fingers crossed.
I mean that's fair. I mean, I know whose lives will change, and that's the immigrants.
Mhm.
Uh, they've already announced that on day one they're going to do mass deportation.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, here goes the shit. Here starts the shit.
Yeah.
So, uh, I just know Trump, he had checks and balances his first term.
Mhm.
For the next, I want to say 23 months, 24 months, depending on how the midterm elections shake out, he's going to have a clear runway
Mhm.
because he has a majority with most of, well, all of the Supreme Court justices, except for I believe one, which is Katanji. They were installed prior to his first, well, after during his first term, I want to say, um, except for Clarence Thomas and the guy that was John Roberts, Sonia Sotomayor. I mean, he was able to appoint three
Mhm.
Supreme Court justices, which is very rare. And you see how it's played out. Presidents have full immunity now, so uh, reports have stated that they are suspending or throwing out his cases.
Mhm.
So state-wise, they're suspending the cases. Federal, they're throwing them out. So already you're seeing things play out.
Mhm.
Gotta wonder if it plays out that way for a certain New York City mayor
That's a
who's
whole
starting to suck up to
yeah.
Trump, talking about we have to work with Trump. We have to. And I was like, oh, okay. You didn't have this energy before, but okay, that's cute now. Um, but yeah. Now let me say this, Kamala, it's no shame in running and making history, even though you didn't win. So hold your crown. Uh, now pivoting to the Democrats, I want to say the Democrats are, for a lack of a better word, a bunch of pussies. Donald Trump has spent, and you seeing that smirk? I see that smirk on your face. They are. Donald Trump has spent the last decade, give or take, insulting damn near everyone, including his supporters. But they don't shy away from him. Uh, I'm a registered Democrat myself, and I'm disappointed that when it was surrounding a woman, the discourse, when it was surrounding a woman, combining the over 60 years of experience in law and politics with the two women that Trump beat. Let's not forget, Trump is a reality show host, reality TV show host. Okay. Hillary Clinton helped write legislature. Kamala Harris helped write legislature. And he ran against them and he actually beat them. I knew deep down that America wouldn't vote for a black woman, if especially if they didn't vote for a white woman who was the epitome of politics and Hillary Clinton. So, and now all you have these think pieces as to why Trump won again. You hear about the immigration, which everybody was complaining about, both the Democrats and the Republicans, the economy, transgender rights, et cetera, et cetera. And quite frankly, I blame the Democrats because they did not prepare anyone that can appeal to the majority of Americans in a national election. Ever since President Obama left office, no Democratic presidential nominee has had a unified uh, outpouring of support. You had Hillary Clinton, who was dogged by the super predator comments from years prior to her campaign. You had Joe Biden with the crime bill. He was dogged by that, his Senate record. Uh, also, don't forget about that comment with, I believe it was Charlemagne. If you don't vote for me, then you aren't black.
Mm.
Uh, which almost damn near derailed his whole presidential campaign back in 2020. And now Kamala Harris, with her record as an attorney general and senator in California, now the Democrats have to go back to the drawing board. and get in touch with reality. No longer, yes, it was cool. Obama had the rock stars. He had the celebrities, he had the actors, he had all of these influential people. But you got to go back to the drawing board and get back to the working class. Stacey Abrams, Wes Moore, Hakeem Jeffries should be heavily utilized in meetings with DNC to revamp campaigns because it's a disconnect. It's a disconnect somewhere. I don't have the answers. I don't run for politics. I don't
don't?
run. I, I'm just saying, from the outside looking in, there has to be a disconnect somewhere.
You don't have the answer, Sway?
No, I don't have the answers. I don't have the answers. But somebody should, in terms of how can we run against such a person that is quite unqualified, who his whole cabinet did not support this re-election term. His whole first cabinet didn't support this re-election term. How can we let him beat us?
Hmm.
They were just so focused on Trump is bad, Trump is bad, Trump is bad, and they weren't actually outlining the policies
Mhm.
that helped the American people. So, yeah, you're saying Trump is bad, but if he's going to McDonald's and dropping fries to people who aren't on top of politics, it's like, oh, okay, he seems to be pretty good. It's all about the illusion.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you got to be some sort of fucked up for George Bush not to endorse you.
Hmm.
He did not come out and endorse Trump
I didn't know that.
either times he ran. And I'm also sick of this bullshit. When they go low, we go high. No, go to the depths of hell.
Mm.
See, that's why I choked. God knew. He was like, no, you're healing. Yes, I'm healing, but I'm not healed. There's a difference. I'm not healed just yet. So when they go low, we go to the depths of hell. That's it.
Just dog fight.
Dog fight. Dog walk that ass. Dog walk that ass. So, I mean, to me, I'm I'm just gonna say I'm divinely guided and protected. It's been too much shit in my life that I've been protected from, shielded from. I've been blessed to not be a part of certain things. But I'm also shuddering at the thought of what could possibly occur over the next couple of years and next 4 years. We could be looking at an economy like the Great Recession with George Bush back in 2008
Mhm.
when President Obama, sorry, inherited the economy,
Mhm.
and it was in complete shambles. You know, shout out to the stimulus package back then. It was like I think $300, 300 or 500. It was like it wasn't 1,200, but it was something something. And before I log off, I'm gonna get to final thoughts. This is a world record. How long is this episode so far? This is a world record.
Running about 20.
Oh, okay, well, all right. Let me just say this: Black women, y'all are the shit. You are the most often to be the front line and the ally to the underserved, the less fortunate, the disenfranchised segments of society. You are greatness personified, and unfortunately, the country and most of the world can't see that right now. Unfortunately, you have to be twice as good to get half of what others get. Is it fair? No. Is it right? No. That's the cards that have been dealt this lifetime. I just want to say don't stop being great. Don't stop being divine. Don't stop being goddesses because you are enough. and this is John Cash, and I'm out.
Let's go, New York! John Cash. Yo, listen to John Cash.